Hello and welcome to another video from the Pilgrim from the Shire. So you're joining us on our weekend trip to Portland, the island of my wife's ancestors, and as I most recently discovered, my ancestors on my father's mother's side. So always felt like home, and yeah, fancied a weekend away. So we stayed at a farm called Fancy's Farm, overlooking the Verne Citadel. So a little petting zoo there for the kids to look at. Really cheap, £17 a night to stay. Absolute bargain. You're right overlooking the town of Fortuneswell and Castletown, which is nestled just above the port but below the citadel. So a real friendly place to stay, real good place to stay. So yeah, sit back, enjoy the video, look at the nice cute wallabies, and yeah, grab yourself a cup of tea and a biscuit and enjoy. Morning. So day 2 of Portland. This is our first full day here. So I'd sneak off down to the High Angle Battery, 6 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday. I thought I'd sneak down whilst the kids and the wife are still asleep and have a look around. I'm an early riser anyway. I thought I'd come down and have a look. Now the High Angle Battery, where I am now, and the Citadel, or the Verne Citadel, was built, I think it was 1872, to defend the port of Portland, obviously. So where we are on the island, we overlook, I'll insert a map now. As you can see, we overlook the port of Portland and Weymouth Harbour, the natural harbour area. So basically, during World War II, they bolstered the defences here by putting a high-angle anti-aircraft battery, which was used against the Luftwaffe numerous occasions. They bombed the harbour. My wife's granddad, he used to tell me stories. He was a boy during the war here in Portland. He used to tell me stories of the German air raids on the harbour, 1940, 41, and I think there was a couple in 43, but didn't really last that long after September 1940, 41, whenever the Battle of Britain was. That's bad, isn't it? Bad Nathan. Bad on my part. But anyway, I'm down in the High Angle Battery now. So where we're staying on the campsite, you might have seen a little clip. I think that was the ammunition store, and then across the road is the actual battery itself. We'll have a look around, see what we can find. have brought my head torch. This reminds me a lot of Burrington Combe Manor. It's an old railway line of some description runs through here. I'm guessing this is probably where they kept the ammunition. Loads of rooms off of this corridor. The ammunition place. Should have brought my head torch. Pretty cool, no? You imagine this during the war. The buzz of Junkers 88s and Stukas overhead come out here. You hear the anti-aircraft guns blaring away, boom, 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 sending shells upon shells into the sky to meet the German bombers, which would have come from this direction. The screech of Stukas into the harbour. So this would have been a battery here. Would have been a gun in here. Anti-aircraft cannon, 40mm maybe. That was pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting it to be open anyway. Let's go and see what else we can find. Come around the corner to this. So I'm guessing there would have been a gun emplacement there. One there. I think this would have been where the smaller anti-aircraft pieces were kept. Another one there, another one there, and another one there. Let's go. Two. It's got this railway line, goes all the way around. Quite genius, really. Goes all the way up the top there, all the way along. Quite ironic because on the campsite we're on, there was a couple of German families playing over these the other day. You know, messing around on them. Ironic. It was built to keep your ancestors out and away from this country, and here you are. Goes to show how times change. Forgive and forget and all that. A lot of people don't know Portland is still MOD land. A lot of this is still Ministry of Defence land. So I'm guessing if there was an invasion or if there was a war, this would automatically pop up on the radar as a great strategic defensive position because it juts out into the English Channel, which is just over there, as you can see, and provides cover for the harbour and Weymouth. Steps down. lots of rubbish around. As Wessex Nomad would say, take it bloody home with you. What's the matter with you all? Anyway, I think I'm going to head back to the tent now. I think this is something I need to explore with my son with the head torch. I think he'll go mad for it. It's huge as well, absolutely huge. Surrounded by huge earth embankments all the way around. Great, great, great feat of Victorian engineering, I think. It's huge, and then obviously repurposed during World War II and probably World War I as well. Huge buildings here. More ammunition stores? I don't know. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to go back to the tent now, grab a bite to eat, a cup of coffee, get the kids ready, and then I think we're off to Churchhope Cove today and possibly the fort, which was built by Henry VIII in 1542 and basically overlooks the harbour, and it was built to defend the harbour against Spanish and French invasions, because as you know, for most of British history we've fought just about everyone in Europe. Why not? Churchhope Cove, that'll be a fun one. I've been there before. It's reputedly the spot of the first ever Viking incursion or Viking raid into England, and you can kind of see why. There's been a church there since Saxon times, settled into the. It's a ruin now, but it's settled into the cliff edge. So my money is, I can just see it in my mind's eye now. A long ship sailing along the coast. It's just found England, thinking where can we stop, where can we raid, what looks good. They spot this church nestled into the cliff face, and away they go, off the ship, up to the church, raid it, bugger off back to the sea. You can kind of see why. And it was apparently it was about 10 years prior to the raid on Lindisfarne that really set up the age of the Vikings, the Viking raids into England and northern France. So yeah, it's a really cool place. They call it a pirate's graveyard, but it's not. It's just a graveyard from the 15th and the 16th and the 17th century. So there's a lot of skull and crossbones, or I can't remember the word now. Memento mori. Lots of memento mori symbols on these gravestones, so people automatically assume it's pirates. It's not. It's just skull and crossbones. If you've ever had a memento mori, a coin, it's just a coin with skull and crossbones on it, basically, or a skull. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get back to the tent now, have something to eat, and I'll see you at Churchhope Cove. Made it to, what's this place called? The fort. Henry VIII built this back in 1542. We're just waiting for it to open and then we're going to go on in. But I'll show you the view. Fort has got quite a commanding view of the whole of the port, basically. If you look just there, there's a couple of components from the old Mulberry Harbour that was towed out to Arromanches, D-Day. I think that's the only two left now. There's a D-Day museum just over here, so you might flip in there as well and have a look. But yeah, just waiting for the museum to open and then we'll be going in. fort itself was a great building. It was actually built 1538 to 1540 by Henry Tudor, and as I said in the previous clip, it was built in order to protect the harbour from a potential invasion from Spanish and French forces. As we all know, Henry Tudor upset pretty much every major European superpower of the time by declaring England a Protestant nation and shying away from the Pope. That's neither here nor there. I think at the end of the day, the French and the Spanish didn't really need an excuse to invade England. As you can see here in this room, I was just telling the kids about how to load a cannon, an old cannon, and they got the chance to practice that. It's a very cool building. If you ever get a chance to visit the fort down at Portland, it's a great place to go. Loads for kids to do. I mean, it's not a massive thing. It's not a massive area to cover. It's a one-way system, so you go around, you look at the kitchen, see where everyone was fed. Lovely, lovely chimney place in the kitchen with a bread oven set off to the side. Huge, huge chimney, as you can see. I'm using voiceover because it was so busy inside. Trying to talk and record at the same time just wasn't working. Here we go up to the parapet now. This is gun deck. I believe Henry VIII commissioned at the time the Falcon and the Falconet to be used specifically for this fort and the sister fort that was built across the other side of the bay in conjunction with Knowth Fort, based at Weymouth, overlooking Weymouth Bay. You can see the old Mulberry Castellans there. Up the stairs now. Quick little window stop there through the arrow slit, or the musket slit as it would have been known then. Brilliant little building, loads of little rooms. As you can see, it's quite busy. Quite awkward to film actually, but we got there in the end. Loads of stuff to do for the kids, loads of little games to play. So this is the upstairs section now. This is what the living quarters were for the officers and the governor, the captain, the fort captain. So it's all a bit bare now, but it would have been a bit more comfortable back in the day. It would have had plaster, and I'm just going up these dead ends. Just keep finding dead ends. Yeah, there's some stairs there. Go up further again, but again you couldn't get up there. So back down I go now. Just walking around, filming, letting the kids enjoy themselves. That's what it's all about, summer holidays. You see there's the family there, playing games. the garrison privy, the toilet basically. The long drop, as it was known. Can you imagine all the arses that have touched this, touched the toilet seat that would have been set over that. And back out onto the parapet now. Beautiful sunny day in Portland yesterday. Beautiful gun deck. So you can just see just how well it commanded a view over the harbour. You can just make out the later fortifications added across the harbour mouth in the 1800s. Coming to the end of this now. This is the captain's chamber. Again, this would have been a very comfortable place for the captain and the governor. It's just bare bones of the fort really now. It's still well maintained by English heritage. But it was reasonably priced as well. It was this is Knowth Fort. This is based across the bay in Weymouth. This is another worthy fort worth visiting. Church Oak Cove. See the footage when we came in. That's the old church remains of the church. I'm stood in the graveyard now. You can see why people say Pirates Graveyard. It's got memento moris all over the gravestones and all over the tombs and stuff. There's quite a few. There's some graves over there with memento moris on. There's some in front of me as well. There's an interesting TikTok video actually doing the rounds of a woman down here filming. She said she overheard someone say hello in her ear, and you can hear it clear as day on the TikTok. But when she turned around, there was no one there. Do I think this place is haunted? Probably. Has got that vibe about it, but it is a beautiful place. As I said, I've been here once or twice before. My wife brought me here. She used to come here as a child, and this is reputedly the first, the spot where the first Viking incursion happened on English soil. So we're going to head down to the beach now, and then up to Rufus Castle, which is just the other side here, which was probably built as a burh by the Saxons to house the local inhabitants should the Vikings come back again. So a lot of people dispute the Viking claim, but I'm going to hazard a guess, and I'm probably going to edge my bets and say this is probably true in my eyes. I'm no historian, but it certainly seems that way. So yeah, I'm going to have a quick wander around here and head down to the beach, catch up with the family. So this is Church Oak Cove. This is very, very stony beach, as you can see. It wasn't always like this. It used to be a sandy beach. It used to be flat, sandy, but apparently, according to local legend, the local quarries on the island, because this island has an extensive quarrying. A lot of buildings in London are built from Portland stone. All the Commonwealth War graves are Portland stone. So there's a hell of a lot of extensive quarrying going on this island. So they needed somewhere to dump the waste. So they basically dumped all the waste on the beaches and in the sea around the beaches. It's just ended up washing up here. So when I say to people about this being reputedly the site of the first Viking raid on England, some 10 years prior to Lindisfarne, people often say, well, Church Oak Cove is quite a stony, pebbly beach, and they're right, it is, but 1,000 years ago, it wasn't. So, yeah, you can just imagine a local Saxon peasant up on the cliff, watching a Viking longship sail from over there. They probably sailed all the way along the coast, all the way past Weymouth, saw this area, saw the church up on the top, and thought, yeah, we'll have a bit of that. So, probably quite scary as a local Saxon person. I do like coming here though, it's a beautiful place, isn't it? My kids are just down there, that's the screaming and shouting you can hear. Last but by no means least, we're coming up to the remnants now of Rufus Castle, which overlooks Church Oak Cove and the ruined church, basically. So this was probably a fortification from the 11th century, I believe, but there was always probably a burh of some description here during the Saxon times and throughout, probably as a result of the Viking raid that took place here. As you can see, lovely old ruins, beautiful ruins. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the video now, so just want to thank everyone for watching.